We're here with Ian Flanigan at CRS.
Yes, sir.
You kind of got the mic stand right.
Mic.
There we go.
There you go. Nice. Perfect.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. CRS. Grateful to be here. How about you?
This is your first one?
No, I've been here twice before. So it's nice to be back and see some people that you only get to see here, actually.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. This is actually my first one. It's a little bit chaotic, but it's fun.
Yeah, well, it is chaotic for sure, but you got the nice quiet corner over here.
Yeah. I'm loving it over here. So tell us about what you got going on, what you have coming out.
Yeah, man. Right now, I got a full-length record that's about to be dropped on March 7th. It's called The Man My Mama Raised.
Right.
I have a single out currently called Evergreen, and just about to hit the road in a week and a half and do a couple of week run tour from New York down to Florida.
Oh,
So we're trying to just navigate all the things, you know.
yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah, it is. But you know, it's kind of the waves of the music industry. You know, some months are insane, then you got nothing. So
Yeah.
so I just kind of stay grateful while it's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So how long have you been in the music industry, and how'd you get into country music?
Man, so I started up in upstate New York in the folk world.
Uh-huh.
You know, so I'm from up in Saugerties, Woodstock area. It's a really big kind of music mecca up there, but it's so many genres. It's everything.
Yeah.
I've been in bluegrass band, jam bands, country bands since I was a kid up there. And mainly my whole life, I'm just a songwriter. You know, I'm really just trying to tell a story. And that's where the folk world was my first stop, you know, Falcon Ridge Folk Festival, all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And brought me out to Texas, doing like the Kerrville folk festivals and like the Dripping Spring thing. And just being a songwriter, I've been a songwriter since I was 11, 12 years old, and kind of hit the road when I was 17 for a long time. And I've lived on the road full time out of a Winnebago for about 3 years until I found Nashville, really. So just traveling, trying to write songs, and country music found me just along the way when I realized that basically country and folk is the difference between acoustic or with a band.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Yeah.
You know, I've always played with a pedal steel and fiddles, but for me, I never really care about the genre that it is as much as those are the people that like my music. So
Right.
that's kind of where it is.
Yeah. Some great artists come from upstate New York. Jerry Jeff Walker,
Yes.
Ramblin' Jack Elliott, who played a pivotal role in Bob Dylan's career,
Yeah.
which I was upset he wasn't in the movie. I don't know if you.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was a
I
great
hear it's
movie.
great.
I mean, Timothy Chalamet was fantastic, and it told a good story. But they had Woody Guthrie in it. But they didn't have Ramblin' Jack, and I was like, "How can you have Woody without Ramblin' Jack?"
Man, that's funny. Well, they got to cut everything for the movie.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
But yeah, a lot of that up there. I'm Big Pink, all those. We drive past it around home. So
Yeah.
it's just a lot of songs.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So, who were some of your biggest inspirations?
You know, I didn't have a lot of music in my life growing up when it comes to records. You know, my mom always had like, you know, Elvis records and Bob Dylan records. And my dad had like CCR. I had an unplugged Eric Clapton record and a lot of Bob Marley. But the real people that shaped my life were actually, it was my guitar teacher. I met my guitar teacher, Chuck Masasi, when I was 11, and worked so closely with him, or still to today. You know, he still calls me and gives me music theory advice.
Yeah,
And it's like, he was a huge influence in me. He's a great musician, but a great song crafter. And just a lot of locals growing up. I was fortunate to come up in a big music area, even though it's very remote out there. There's an artist everywhere. So him, I'd say the Paul Luke band was the first country band I played in. They taught me a lot about gigging,
yeah,
you know, and that's where I kind of got my inspiration for hitting the road. And out in Colorado, there's one of my dad's army buddies, Tom Thornburg. He's a bluegrass banjo player, but I actually went and lived with them for almost half a year when I was younger, and apprenticed to build acoustic guitars. He's a great luthier.
oh wow,
But these are the guys that shaped my entire life.
yeah,
You know, very, very rarely has it been a song or an artist that I never met. It's always
Yeah.
been somebody that impacted my life.
yeah. Well, that's great. I mean, those are the people that you come up with and learn from. That
Yeah, because
influenced them.
you think of one way you want to be, right? And 2 years later, everything changes anyway. And these are the guys that kind of taught me tone and like how to embrace what you got as an instrument. Like my voice, different than yours.
Right.
I could go listen to the Eagles all day, but I'm never going to sing it like that. And it's these guys that help you craft your sound.
Yeah.
And then the genre is the last thing that matters. You know, you got to find who you are as a writer and the way that music lifts together with your voice.
Yeah.
And those are the guys that really spent the time with me and showed me that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So what have been you talked about the highs and the lows,
Yeah.
waves of the music industry. What have been some of those peaks for you?
Man, the peaks, you know, it's funny. Everybody always thinks about the lows, but the peaks are the moments where it's like all the lows matter. You know, I remember I was living in a trailer. I was living in Winnebago, and I had just traveled the country for like a solid 8 months. And I just played Austin City Limits, where I was independent at the time, and I opened up for Bob Schneider out there.
Nice.
And he was super kind. I was nobody, just living in a trailer, you know. And he brings me up 2,000 people. That was the first high that ever happened in my life organically. And it was funny, it was complemented with an extreme low of living down in Lewisburg, Tennessee. I was working at this trailer park and gigging, and COVID hit, and I like lost every show, and that was the only income I had. And you know, a couple weeks later, my last gig was an open mic out here in Nashville at the Mercy Lounge, and it was a scouting opportunity for The Voice.
Mhm.
So I ended up being on season 19 of The Voice
Yeah.
right after all this. So that year for me was like 2 really huge highs, and I'll never forget that. So
What was that like being on The Voice?
man, it was crazy. I got to give so much credit to the production team and all that, as you know what it takes to put on anything like this. But they were the kindest people, and for me, I went in as an alternate. I didn't go in thinking I was going to win anything. You know, I just went for the experience. I just lost all my work, and here's this job, and it's also awesome.
Yeah.
So I went out there just grateful to even be doing anything. And as the season kept going and I kept sticking around, it got crazier with the timing. I'm an older dude too.
Mm.
I give a lot of credit to the kids that go on that show. You know, it's like, I think Carter Rubin was like 15 on that show, and he won the whole thing.
Yeah.
But those days, I mean, you got to wake up, and you'll be going from 6 a.m. till 11 at night. And that's a lot for anybody, but
Yeah.
the kids that do it are just insane to me. So, but it was awesome. A lot of really tight production. Learned a lot about live shows that you're not going to learn until you're on a big stage.
Yeah.
So just the lessons were worth every moment of it.
Yeah, I could imagine that's a incredible experience to have.
Oh yeah.
Something like that.
And the house band is insane. They're just insane. Like the keyboard player was Cher's music director for 11 years.
Wow.
The guitar player is Pink's guitar player,
Oh.
you know, and the drummer is a fantastic guy. And I've been so fortunate to come off that show and start cutting records in Nashville where everybody knows them and knows each other. And just to have spent that one-on-one time getting like directed by them is crazy. You know, I still remember lessons from those rehearsals at The Voice that I think about every time I go up to a show.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yeah. So it sounds like it had a really big impact on.
For me, it did, man. You know, like I worked with Blake Shelton on it, and Blake's obviously Blake Shelton, like this crazy, awesome human. And I don't even know if Blake realizes the kind of advice that he gives just by casually being himself. But a lot of what I got with him was really just kind of embracing my authenticity instead of trying to be anything or try to beat something. And like just pick the right song that fits you and just be you all the time, you know? And the other guys were more technical advice sometimes, but all of it, if you listen and you're there for the right thing, is really awesome chapter of your life, you know?
Yeah. Well, obviously you still have a huge career ahead of you. What do you hope some of those peaks will be in the future? What are some of your future aspirations?
Man, you know, touring is my entire life. Like I don't really feel right if I'm not touring, or if one's not on the horizon. I feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just trying to play music and learn how to be a great father and to get my family on the road in a way that everybody's happy and healthy.
Yeah.
Because I've toured before in situations where it's a lot on other people.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a positive. And now my goal is to figure out how to get on the road. I got 2 beautiful twin baby girls right now.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And my wife, and she travels too. So we're just trying to figure out the circus and get it on the road in a really great way. Because I don't want to tour where like everybody thinks you got to go do it alone or whatever. You don't. You can make life is what you make it in every way.
Yeah.
So that's my next chapter, is figuring out how to tour successfully with my family. And not all the time, but get some opening slots for some bigger artists. I've had some really wonderful artists bring me out, and honestly, just write the next best song, man. My bars are high, but they're simple.
Yeah.
I don't got 100 of them.
Well, that's some great goals, especially, getting to bring your family out on the road with you. I know that could be difficult being out on the road away from your family. So bring them on the road with you would be fantastic.
Yeah, well, I got a 3-week tour coming up, and that'll be the first longest stretch that I've had since the kids were born. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good luck to you. I know, because I already know about 2 days into it, you're going to be missing home.
I know. But it's a beautiful thing, man. And the thing is, I have been an artist for my whole life. It's not forever, and it's not a given that people are going to love your music, and you gotta be grateful when it's happening. And it's also very important to prioritize it, because it isn't forever. Nothing is.
Right.
So it's like, I'm fortunate right now. I got a record. People believe in me, and people are loving the music. And there's chapters, you got to give all that love back as much as you can.
Yeah.
So
do you have like a dream collaboration? Is there anybody out there who you would just love to collaborate with on something?
I got a few. Yeah. I would love to get in a studio with Tommy Emmanuel. He's I wouldn't be able to play much with him, but I try. I've taken his classes. So
he's maybe the best.
Maybe the best.
Maybe the best.
Yeah, so that'd be a dream, but mostly so I could just ask him questions in person. But Tommy Emmanuel, Brandy Carlisle's got my favorite female voice of all time right now, because I just love her music. So many artists. I don't know. Honestly, right now in Nashville, there's so many local collabs that I'm excited to do, and everybody's so talented.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, well, that would be incredible if you got to do something with Tommy. He is, I've been surprised to hear you say his name, honestly.
Oh man.
But he is such a talented guitar player, and somebody who I think not enough people, recognize. Because he is, if you're listening and you haven't seen him play, go check it out, because it's out of this world, really.
Yeah, like you listen to it, but then when you watch it get done, it is insane, because you realize, so I'm a huge Tommy Emmanuel fan, and there's a story of him growing up where he listened to all these records and he tried to, emulate the sound, and he learned them, but he learned them all by hand and then found out later that they were using capos. So he was doing everything that you would play with a capo by himself with open fret.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And that's why his thumb is and it's just nasty. It's insane. I don't have any words for him. I just watch his videos and I take a couple of his classes, and one lesson takes me 6 months. So
yeah.
But
so you have some new music coming out, new album coming out, going on the road, a 3-week tour coming up pretty soon. Where can folks go find that, get tickets, and follow along and see what you have coming down the pipeline?
Well, thank you, man. Right now you can go to my website, ianflaniganmusic.com. All my socials have all the ticket links and everything. So at Ian Flanigan is all you need to look up, and it'll be there. But otherwise, music's on every streaming platform. So we're getting it out, and I'm excited to see everybody out there.
Yeah, for sure. So y'all go check out Ian's socials and his website, and keep up with him. Go see him live. You won't regret it. It's a good show. And Ian, we thank you so much for coming out and talking to us and taking the time. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your time here at CRF.
Man, thank you. Thank you for having me, and same to you.
All right, man. We appreciate you.